Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, and I'm here with my Soulful Sum It Up Sunday. The word this week is focus. Focus. As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. Yes, that is my focus. And I am taking these next few weeks to take a step back to make sure that things are on track, that I truly am seeking God first and putting Him first and only. For I know that when I take care of Him in His house, well, I don't have to take care of God. He takes care of me. But when I take care of the things of God, that He will take care of me and the things that are connected to me and the people that are connected to me. So I encourage you to focus. Yes, focus. And I encourage you to, of course, just say yeah. Have a good week. Hi, everybody. How are you this fabulous Saturday? I am Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, and I am just excited. We are here today, of course, to talk to you about what it means to love me, love life, live healthy. Back to school is our theme, here. And we have an amazing guest that we have invited back because he has so much to share, and one show is absolutely not enough to share what he has to offer. And this back to school theme, I feel, kind of goes with it. So I'm going to let the ladies introduce themselves, and then we will introduce our guest.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. And of course, I am Miss Shawana, of course, a community mental health specialist and the owner of Precision Line Dancing.
Hi, everybody. I am Lynetta Small Whittle. I am the owner of a Whittle Love Daycare. And I kind of want to say, I'm going to write a book, too.
Okay. Yes.
What's up? Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Love it.
We are about to introduce our guest, but before we do, Michael, play something for us.
God is amazing, 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 God is amazing. Seem like I've been through it all. Had one number to call, and that's God in heaven. There for me 24/7, and He's still here. Even when I look back in the rear, always knew why I would persevere. Even when the road wasn't clear, I was gonna move me a mountain. No room for doubting. Faith was all I had to get through. Dealing with every issue, I knew God had my back like a Jansport, and I stayed prayed up, cause life too short. God is amazing, 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 God is amazing. God is amazing, 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 God is amazing.
So as you can see, our next guest is none other than Jamarlin Lowe, the author and the songwriter of Resilient. This book right here, wow, you won't want to put it down. You will just keep reading it. It is full of stories that are wow, that truly prove resilient. So Jamarlin Lowe, we welcome you. Please tell the audience a bit about yourself.
Just a brother with a dream and just trying to pursue all of them one by one and see them all manifest. You know, this book, again, it's a great honor to actually, you know, have you guys read it and speak on it. Man, I'm overwhelmed. Like, you know, this is my little old life I put in these pages, you know. Just the impact it's having on people so far. I'm just grateful. And, you know, God has definitely used me, you know, so I'm going to just keep on being a light that'll shine for others that don't have a voice, you know?
Absolutely.
I love that. I love what you just said about being a light
Yes.
for others who don't have a voice. That is so important, which is why part of the reason why I wanted to, we wanted to have you back anyway, but definitely wanted to have you back right now with the theme being back to school. And, you know, as we read this book, what resonated with me was so many of these stories.
Yes.
You were a child.
Yes.
You were a young boy going through school. You were in elementary, you were in junior high, you were in high school when these major impactful stories happened. So we're going to talk about that and the importance of being an advocate for kids,
Yes.
being a safe place for kids, because kids are about to go back to school. And so we all, as parents and educators and we all of us, as parents, brothers, sisters, have
Yeah.
a place that we need to be. Also, Jamarlin, before we go in and start bugging you and dissecting some things and asking some questions, tell us about your Resilient, the song that's about to come out.
Yes.
Well, the soundtrack is definitely available on all streaming platforms.
So it's
Yeah.
already available.
Yeah, it's already out.
All
on
right, all right.
Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, everywhere.
Wow.
Everywhere where there's music. All inspired by the book and inspired by my life.
I love that.
Nice.
I absolutely love that. So you not only, and of course, you know, you being the producer that you are, not only did you write a book, but you had to accompany it with a song now.
Yeah.
So yes. So I just thank you for having the courage to share your story, because it's very impactful and it's going to. I feel that it touches everybody.
It does.
Yeah.
It has an impact on everybody's life. In fact, since I've read it, now I'm going to have my grandson read it,
Wow.
because the story is a wonderful story and it's one he needs to hear. So
Yeah.
I just want to thank you. So
Yeah,
back
you're
to school, everybody. We're going to talk about some helpful things about surrounding this subject. You know, going back to school. I know Lynetta deals with the educational system, and she has her
Yeah.
her educational center. And we need some tips. We need tips as adults,
Yes.
educators, those of us going back to school, parents of those going back to school, on just helpful tips. And that's what we're going to
Yes.
share today. Not all of them, you know, you pick and choose what you want, but they are definitely helpful. So, you know,
I love it. I love it. And I think we all are at different places. Like some of us may have grade school kids, or, you know, middle school, high school, college students even. Or some of us may be students ourselves, right?
Yay!
Lynetta, you have to be the students yourselves. So I think there's much advice that I think we can all give on today. And like you said, hey, if it applies to you and you feel like it's something that's going to work, try it out. But I think this is the time for us to have this discussion, because we're still in a pandemic, y'all. I mean, numbers are rising everywhere.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I mean, we definitely need to have this discussion on tips and different things that's going to help us get through this year.
absolutely, absolutely. And of course, you know, Lynetta, I have to hear what you have to say with regards to these tips we're about to share
Oh, yeah.
for school.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm here for it. You know what's super duper important is that we have schedules and communication. Schedules
Absolutely.
of the timing you go to bed, the chores, your own study time, your kids' study time, looking at their grades together. You don't have to go behind your kids' back like it's a secret.
Right,
It's not.
right.
Sit down with them and actually look at their grades with them, and with the communication. If there's a tutor that's needed, if they're having struggles, issues at school, issues with still dealing with the pandemic that we're in right now, then it is key. So I'm excited about this topic.
I'm excited
Yes,
too.
ma'am.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump right in, and Jamarlin,
Yes.
I'm gonna bug you first.
All
Here
right.
I go. Here I go. I have some things that I have jotted down, and one of those things, and we're all gonna, of course, touch on all of them, but I would like you to
Yes.
start as it relates to kids, because you are a mentor to children. You have children of your own, and so. You know the importance of, especially as Shawana just said, we are in a pandemic still. We really are, even though it may not seem that we are, but we are.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so our children are going back to school. And I have to share a quick story. My granddaughter, I told her, school's about to start. She's so excited. Oh, yes, yes, yes. And you have to understand her personality. She could come and host the show by herself.
Yes.
Because that's just her. She's with Miss Lynetta every day, and she lets me know. Matter of fact, she told me yesterday, I'm going to be just like Miss Lynetta. She tells me this
Yes.
every day, and she says it with such conviction.
Yes.
You going far, kid.
Man, and I'm like, well, that's good. She goes, only thing is I'm not having children, but I will adopt them. And I said, okay, you can do that. But I said to her, I said, she goes, oh, we're going back to school. I said, yes. She said, I go, you'll be in second grade. She said, but I never finished kindergarten.
Wow.
But when she said it, it made me realize
Wow.
these kids have been out a very long time.
Yes.
Right.
They've been out of school a long time and they need our support. They're
Right.
gonna be nervous. So
Right.
Jamarlin, what would you say on ways to address nervous feelings with our children as they're going back to school? And even for parents for sending their children back to school.
Well, what I can say is that I can assure that the children will return to a safe, clean campus. Because myself, I'm a custodian for the school district, so I've been spending most of my time, preparing for the opening of the school, and we're going to do it a little full this time, where it's going to be a full classroom. So it's nothing really to worry about. Just, wear your mask in class and try your best.
Yes.
I love
Should
that.
be fine, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for even sharing that. You
Yeah.
being on the other side, ensuring us
Yeah.
that no, the district is doing their best to make sure,
Yeah.
doing their part to make sure our children are going back to a clean environment. Because
Mhm.
nobody, including the teachers, want this to spread. I'm going to
Right.
have Lynetta and
Yes.
Shawana. One's going to speak about nervous feelings for the parent, and one's going to speak on nervous feelings for the teacher. Can you speak about nervous feelings for the parent?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yes. So of course I know initially, and I must say I was in this place when we first went into the pandemic, right? I was just like, whoa, I don't know if we want to send my kid back to school once we were getting into that phase. And I had to
Right.
pray, y'all. I really did. I said, the schools were trying to implement as much as they can and have things in place, different protocols. And when I was like, okay, all right, I think we can do this. And I prayed about it, and that gave me a peace. I mean, we got to understand that we're not going to be able to control everything. Like, I think that's what we all
Right.
kind of got a sense of during this pandemic. Like, we don't have control over everything.
That's right.
But when we see that the school system is trying, like you said, trying to do their best. And if you feel comfortable as a parent to say, you know what, I'm going to pray about this. I feel a peace, God. You are going to take care of my child because they belong to him anyways, right? They're his
Yeah.
children. He loves them. And just to really put everything, do as much as you can, make sure they're masked up, make sure you would tell them about, even spacing out some, communicate with the school. And they talked about that a lot, communication,
Yes.
communicate in that way. We're going to have to chill a little bit because the last thing we want as parents is to stress ourselves out because that's not
Yeah.
going to make it any better. But look at everything and everything that's in place. Talk to your babies, communicate, and just sit back and just kind of chill and, and pray about it all. Just wrap it in prayer. Wrap it in prayer.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I love that. Lynetta, I would like
Yes.
you to speak on behalf of the educators. As far as
This is such an honor.
It is, and and both sides of the coin, like how you would encourage them, but also us, what you would suggest to those of us as parents. Because
Yeah.
I had to
Right.
remind myself they're just as nervous too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
And we need to realize that we're all human. And there's going to be times where you're going to see a kid cough in their hand and pull their mask down. And it's not for you to freak out, but just like Shawana was saying, remind them. So it's important that we pick up the Lysols and sprays and
Yeah.
the wipes and the Clorox wipes and have them in the classroom.
Oh, yeah.
That's helpful even at the daycare here with me. And, I make sure that we continue to wipe things down. Like it becomes a part of the behavior, the just the norm now that we have to face. So teachers, breathe.
Yeah.
Be patient, but also aware of the surroundings. So, we'll be fine. We'll be okay. If numbers begin to spike, we all know that, the schools will shut down to protect as many people as
Yes.
we can. For me personally, I was vaccinated and my children were vaccinated. So it's good to take those steps in the right way, in the right direction, so breathe. Just breathe.
Love it.
Yeah, and you know what? When Netta
With your
just
mask
said that,
on.
Right, exactly. I just thought of something. And it's also good for parents and teachers and, care providers to communicate with one another. That makes me, as a
Absolutely.
parent, that want to ask the teacher, hey, what is it that I can do? Or what do you need? Let's help one another, because like you said, there's an amount of stress that's on them. It's an amount of stress that's on parents. So let's go and
Yes.
help one another.
Absolutely. That is absolutely important. When we come, we're going to take a little break, but when
Aw.
we come back, we're going to talk about some different parts of the book.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
because, like I said, in reading the book, it made me realize he was a baby. Literally, you were a
Yes.
baby, Jamarlin, going through this tough stuff.
Yeah.
And so I want to come at it from the place of, in reading the book, the people, the key people in your life that were significant to your place of security, because the situation that it was moving as often as you did, the different type of things that happened. Where's that sense of security? So having those safe spots was very important. So I want to talk to that on, how Lynette, of course, is going to address the teacher side, and you're going to, of course,
Yes.
address the parent side. But we're going to talk about those parts in the book and what it meant to you as a child going through these situations to have that sense of security. So we will be right back. Do not go anywhere. You won't want to miss this. We'll see you in a moment.
All right.
Anxiety is normal. It's a normal part of life, and it's good for us to be anxious. It helps us prepare for things. It helps us stay out of danger. Pushing, being firm for them to go to school is probably the best decision. But if you're doing that and things are not getting better, then that's the time to seek help. Therapy is basically facing your fears. We call it exposure therapy, so you're exposing yourself to what you're afraid of. So if you're afraid of going to school, you need to practice going to school. If you're afraid of being away from your parents, you have to practice being away from your parents. And so what we do is help structure that, help the family break down frightening situations into small steps, give the kids and the parents the confidence that this is the right way to go, and support them as they stick with the plan, because it sometimes can take time and it can be rocky along the way. To make sure you understand why your child's being anxious, and that's the difference that I usually describe as the difference between anxiety versus stress. So by anxiety, meaning I'm overly anxious about something that's pretty safe. So I'm nervous about going to school just because I'm nervous about being away from my parents, and there's nothing particularly stressful or bad going on in my life. It's just a change, and I'm a little bit nervous, and it makes me anxious. Versus stress, when there actually is a problem that needs to be dealt with. So for example, if a child has a learning disability, I think support is probably the most important thing for parents. Having other parents who, friends, family, who can empathize, especially those that have had their kids already go off to college or have gone through this already. It can be comforting to talk to.
Everybody, we are back. I'm Yasmina of Just Say Yeah, and we are here talking about life, talking about going back to school. We're here with Jamarlin Lowe. We are talking to him about his book, Resilient. Dun, da, da, da.
Yay.
First of all, you need to get the book.
Yes.
It's on the Amazon, and it is absolutely chock full of stories that will just blow your mind. Like, you're like, what in the world? What in the world?
What just happened?
What just
Right.
happened? And you go to
Is
the
this
next
real?
page, like, wait, what? Are you serious? So, Jamarlin,
Yeah.
because you were a young child going through these situations, as many children do, I need you to speak from that place. There are stories in here. You know, I think of, you know, an example, stories of seeing the woman you love, your mom, being abused in domestic violence situations.
Yeah.
You, as young as you were, much of the time in elementary school, getting in between to try to stop, trying to be the protector, trying to be the one to be there for her, even though things were happening, you were still there. Things, and I don't want to say too many things. There's so many things that I could say a lot, and I still wouldn't say the stories. Okay, so you know, times when, you know, doing without even the basics most of the time, toiletries, you know, and wanting to, you know, those type of things, that even just having the security of having that stuff, that not being something that you were sure of having. How important, and I'm you know, of course we say, yeah, it was important, but how was that to you, and having the safe places, the safe people, the few people that you could go to, like your friend, for example, their home. How important was that for you?
Well, that was everything for me, because had I not had that outlet, I think my life would have ended up totally different, because it's only so much you can take, you know, when you're agitated. And, you know, as a child, you know, if you don't have safety in your own home, you have to find it, you know, and it's one of those things you can't complain about. You just have to do something about it. And whatever you do to find peace, you know, that's what you have to do. So thank God, you know, I had friends that I can run to for refuge, even though I didn't explain to them what was going on, but, you know, just having that place. And, you know, now in hindsight, you know, I see that some of my friends did have an idea what was going on, but we didn't know how to, you know, have a conversation about it, because it's very uncomfortable to talk about, you know, having a drug addict parent. So, yeah, I would just spend as much time away from the home as I could, you know, for my own safety.
So, what encouragement would you have for anyone listening, adult or child, that you would in a situation that's not a good situation, as far as in trying to find that safe spot?
Well, what I would recommend is no one, you know, be quiet about a situation, because, you know, we can't let pride have us in the worst case scenario, you know, because in the end, that trauma we carry on in the future is, you know, the main reason why, you know, we're acting the ways we're acting, because when we cry for help and that's muzzled, you know, you're creating a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
if you can't find, you know, somebody to confide in, or somebody to talk to, you're trapped in your situation, you know.
Absolutely.
And you have to find those outlets. So, you know, that's my advice to everybody, man. Speak up, because you know, we all have to live our best lives, and if we're, you know, letting someone else's shortcomings, you know, affect us to the point where our quality of life is changing, then one person's mistakes is, you know, affecting everybody. So
Absolutely.
we have to break free from that.
Thank you so much for that. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know, Lynetta, can you please go ahead and speak with toward the educator and being observant towards those to the children, or what tips you would have, or what suggestions you would give, and how they could be observant, and how they can be that safe spot for kids that they think are going through something, or that because, you know, we can observe and see when something's just not right. So what would you add to that?
You know, in therapy and psychology classes, the first thing they teach you is to learn body language. So you watch their behavior, you watch the interactions. Some people think, oh, a child is hitting, so they must be getting hit at home, or they're just having a bad day. And the reality is that they could be getting hit. It is a learned behavior, and they could be getting hit at home. And instead of, you know, just throwing them to the wolves or putting them to the side or sit at your desk and stay away from everybody else, it's very important that we allow the children to use their words and express what they're going through. The thing about trauma is that trauma is so suffocating that you can't breathe and no one is able to breathe for you. So when you do grasp for that air and you don't have nobody there that can, you know, give you that CPR, you know, administer that help, then it becomes, that person fades off and die at times. So it's very, very important that as educators that we are aware of our surroundings and learn our children. Don't just look at them as numbers and just, oh, we're just gonna push you through school. You know, it's like, no, we need to know what's going on. Each child has a different culture. We have the American culture, we have society, and they have their own culture that's within their home.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to our background, our cultural background as African American people, we are big on, well, you don't talk about what's going on in your house. You know, you don't release those secrets because we don't want so and so to get in trouble, auntie, uncle, mama, daddy get in trouble. But the thing about it is that those individuals need to get in trouble because it's absolutely wrong what they're doing to children, and what the devil uses for evil, God will always turn around for our good. And Jamarlin is a perfect example of that in his book. So
Yes, come on.
Thank you so very much, and that is absolutely right. We have to remember, we have to, you know, there were so many times in the book where, you know, I know you had the opportunity to speak up and say the wrong that was happening, but you didn't. And, you know, you were a child. That's a big decision to have to make. That's a big thing. So, you know, that if we can understand as adults the importance of, no, the adults that are observing, it's hard for a child to make that decision, but the adults observing, you can. And you ought.
Absolutely.
We all are mandatory reporter. We got to report what we see. So, Shawana, I would like you to speak on kind of, well, definitely parents, but parents who are going through, parents who are feeling that pressure, parents who are feeling the shame. They are, there's things that they know that they're not doing their best for their child, but they don't really know what to do. So can you speak from that place?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. This is going to be the time where we're going to see a lot of parents who are going to need some help, some who are not going to necessarily reach out because they feel like, I don't know what to do. It may be ashamed. I'm glad you said that, because some people are going to say, oh, well, I'm feeling ashamed because I don't have it all together. That is okay. That is okay. We understand that not only are your children going through, you're going through as an individual, as a parent. So you need to seek the help for yourself, because what happens is if mom and dad are not together, you're in a household with your children. So they're going to sense that. They're going to feel the stress that you're giving off. And then imagine now your baby has this and they're taking it to school and they're taking, you know, wherever, and no telling what can happen because of that. So the pressure is on. We get it. But you must take care of you when it feels like everything is weighing down on you. If you don't have a coping skill to deal with that or an outlet for that, please get help. Call someone. It is okay to say, listen, I don't got it all together. You know how many people are in that situation right now who don't have it all together? So listen, reach out. Whether you got a community group, we always say it on every episode. If you need to reach out to us, we all have our personal DMs. You can send a personal message. You can contact us however you need to.
Absolutely.
Please, to say, I just don't have it all together. Can you please help? That's what we're for. We're a community. But I don't want you taking on that load by yourself. And then all of a sudden your children will see the side effect of that, because they're saying, well, oh my God, my mom's so stressed out. And then they sit up there and feel that way on the inside, like I'm doing something wrong. We all need each other during this time. So reach out.
We do. We need each other.
Reach out. And because there's going to be a lot coming up over these next few weeks.
Absolutely.
It's a brand new school year. When we thought, I thought we would have been all clear by this. I said, we're going to be clear. Going in, no mask, everything is going to be good. But as we see, there's been changes. And we're at this again. So, hey, I think one thing we've learned is how to adjust.
Yes, we have.
How to we got to adjust, you know. But parents, please, believe me, there's other parents. We're in this with you. If you need some help, don't do it by yourself. Just call and talk to someone, and they can help, walk you through that.
And I'm going to speak from the side of a parent, a grandparent, a woman
Yeah.
who is happy to say when she needs help. I reach out. I reach out to these two ladies right here.
Yes.
My mom. I reach out
Yeah.
to her. I reach out to Kevin. I reach out there. I have my group of people that I can reach out to, and I will say I have those moments where I'm like, no, I got it. You know,
Yeah.
where because I'm just
Yeah.
trying to hold on to the moment.
Yeah.
But because I feel like, well, I don't want to be a trouble on them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I'm here to encourage you as a person who does reach out that it's really okay. It's
okay, right.
amazing how people really do want to help, but most often they don't know where they need to. They don't want to step
don't.
on your toes either.
Right.
So you at least letting it be known that, okay, I'm open to you saying if you see something off, let me know.
Yeah.
So
Right.
do that. I'm so glad you said that. That's very, very important. When we came back onto the show, there was a little clip we played about anxiety. And it was a little short clip, and the doctor on the clip was talking about anxiety. And I want everyone to understand that even in the best of situations, that even if COVID did not happen, there's anxiety with going back to school.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's back to school.
Yeah.
Kids are going to a new class, a new
Yes.
teacher. They're wondering what their schedule is. They're wondering if they're a high schooler, am
True.
I okay? They're wondering, did I get everything done? They're wondering, who am I going to hang out with? There's so many things. School clothes. Am I going to have my school clothes?
Right.
Am I, and I even with that, I think of Jamarlin. I think of your story and you pushing through when many of times all you had was in your backpack.
Wow.
But you kept going, and
Resilient.
that resilient, truly, it just blows my mind, and it's so encouraging. So I want everyone to understand that even in the best case scenario, anxiety is normal.
That's
so
right.
now it's
Yes.
raised, the bar of it is raised even higher. So our sensitivity level needs to be raised higher
yes.
on all aspects. We need to be observant
Absolutely.
with
Very.
one another.
Very.
Yes.
We know when
I like that.
something's off. We need
Yeah.
to do that. So, oh my gosh, there's so much
So
we need
much.
to say. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
there's just never enough time. We need a 5-hour show filled with
Seriously.
singing and poetry and,
name it.
we really
Name
do.
it.
And so, even on my notes, it says here, no, it's okay to ask for help. In fact,
okay to ask for help.
imperative.
Yeah.
Set small, manageable goals.
I love it.
Very important. It's important to create a morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
There are things that we can do on the front end that won't take it away,
That's good.
but will help alleviate it. So, we're gonna go ahead, I guess, and do. I just don't know what to do here. If we should take
So
a
much,
break, if we should stay on, not sure what to do. But let's go ahead and take a break, and then that way we can just be on from there on. So we will see you in just a moment.
Anne Sullivan was a teacher for the blind. Anne taught a young girl named Helen Keller, who was both blind and deaf. When Anne first met Helen, she was very difficult. With Anne's help, however, Helen Keller's life improved. Anne taught Helen sign language by signing into her hand. Later, Anne even taught Helen how to speak by holding Helen's hand to her face. Because of Anne's teaching, Helen was able to attend college, where Anne helped her learn Latin, German, and French. Anne would read the textbooks to Helen by signing them into her hand. Anne was Helen's friend and teacher throughout her life. Together, Anne and Helen showed what people can accomplish if they have someone to believe in them.
California Home.
Hi, everybody. We are back, and we're here with Jamarlin Lowe, and he is talking about, he's sharing with us amazing tips on how to navigate through these hard times, how to navigate through going back to school, how to talk to our children, how to be aware. His book, Resilient, is available on Amazon. It is a wonderful read. It's chock full of stories that will just blow your mind, and truly you'll say, that was a perfect title right there. Perfect title for this book. He also has the soundtrack, really, the single for this book. It's called Resilient, okay?
Love it.
And it is on iTunes. It's on all the platforms. You have got to listen to it. So there it is right there, Apple Music. You see it. Look at that face.
Oh, I
know. So
Sneaking
definitely-
candy.
Yes. So
Love it.
we are talking about, and all of that, of course, because we're getting ready to go back to school.
Yes.
Yes.
And we know that with that, especially with us being in the middle of a pandemic, yes, we still are, that there is stress that our kid on every level, teacher level, parental level, all the educator on every level, the
Yes.
staff at all of the schools, wanting to make sure they're doing their part. Our children, parents, all of us have a level of anxiety. So we need to talk about that, and we need to address it, and then not be ashamed of it. Just figure out what we can do to get in front of it.
Yes.
So right now, I want to highlight educators. We just showed a clip about Anne Sullivan. Now, Anne Sullivan is known for being the teacher for Helen Keller. And we all have heard of Helen Keller. You know, she was blind and deaf. She didn't speak. There was so much, although Anne taught her how to by touching her mouth. There's so much to that story. But I want to highlight her instructor, Anne Sullivan.
Nice.
And the reason I want to do that, because I want to really put out there to everybody the importance of how we interact with children,
That's good.
the importance of what we do with them, what we say to them, because Anne was the educator for someone who became a great person, Helen Keller. But had it not been for her educator, I don't think it would have happened.
Makes a difference.
Just truth. So we're going to talk about those important moments. There's a point in the book where Jamarlin, there was a time when you guys were older then, I believe around 14, but you and I think there were 4 of you went to the school just to pick up basketball schedules.
Oh man.
Jeez. But the pushback and what happened, you go there, innocent children, to pick up your schedule, and then you're ran off the school, and police are called. And so I'm bringing that up because we have to make sure that we really don't overjudge things, okay?
Absolutely.
Because you see 4 young black men walking together, they're troublemakers. No, these boys were going to the school to pick up their school schedules, and the police were called on them.
Yeah.
So with that, and with the Anne Sullivan, I'm giving 2 scenarios of good influence, bad influence, but what that could do to a child, the impact that has on kids. Everything we do matters.
Yeah.
So I want to, first of all, just commend all parents, because you're an educator too.
Yeah.
First educator, at least we ought to be. Teachers,
Yes.
all the child care people who are in interaction with our children, that
Right.
think about how you interact with children.
Oh yeah.
Jamarlin, for the most part, can you tell us how was your interaction and how were teachers during this time in your life?
In high school, I had a pleasant experience with most of my teachers. I had one teacher. She didn't like me, and I might have been a jerk, but I actually did my work. This was English class in ninth grade. I would go and get opportunities for extra credit, and she would call security on me.
Wow.
And I never really understood why she treated me that way, but I was just trying to learn, and do the best I could
Right.
because, again, school was my refuge. But to this day, I never knew why she would do stuff like that. But bless her heart.
There you go. You have the
Yeah.
most amazing forgiving heart, by the way, Jamarlin.
Yeah.
Reading your book, I'm like, he's just amazing. Like, oh,
Yeah.
like truly, just the things that you went through and the way you looked at things. I want to say something because it's kind of going back with what you said and Lynetta said about the importance of being how we need to be with the children.
Right.
Right.
I don't even know how to say it. Was it Pythagoras? What is that?
Pythagoras? Yeah.
Pythagoras. That's what this is from, okay? It
Mm.
says, educate the children, and it won't be necessary to punish the men.
Wow.
So I want everyone to just think about that statement. Educate the children,
Wow.
and it won't be necessary to punish the men. And that's where we come into play.
Absolutely.
And we hear about it takes a village. That's why we say ask for help, because
Yes.
all of us are in part with one another. We're supposed to be interdependent
Yeah.
with one another.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go ahead and talk about just some tips that will help you to kind of navigate through going back to school. So we already talked about some stuff, but first let's go ahead and I'm going to start with recognize and validate what your child is feeling. Can each of you give me a way that we could do that? Shawana.
Oh, yes, please validate them. I mean, you know how we tend to say, well, you know what? No, ain't nothing wrong with you. You ain't No. Pay attention and and be very attentive to them. Give them your undivided attention. That's going to be key during these next few weeks, months, years. Pay attention to them. So if they're telling you something, listen to them and do not brush it off as if, it's nothing serious. So I would have to say, once they have a talk with you, sit down with them, and then let's address those issues, whatever that is. I'm going to be big on saying this year, we have to be very intentional on guiding them to the resources that they're going to need. If you can, as a parent, help your
Yes.
child, find a resource for them. You're not going to be less than a parent if you don't have the answer. Because your child's gonna look back and say, listen, my mom didn't have the answer or resource for this, but they went out and got it for me. That means a lot.
Right.
That means a lot. So validate them. Continue to let them know that things are gonna be okay. Reassure them. Reassure them. We do not want to lose our babies through this pandemic.
Right.
We didn't came this far. By the grace of God, we do not want to lose them. Let's hold on to them, motivate them, love on them, and do the best that we can.
That was absolutely
Right.
wonderful. You know, Jamarlin, from a child that, we've all been kids. For me, it's been a very long time ago. But I want to say, during that time, validating, and I don't know if, you were really intuitive. You had a lot of foresight as a young child. But what are some things that you feel, as you look back, for children who are going through things like this, that you feel would help to validate that that their parents could do, their teacher could do, family members could do to help validate what they're going through if they're going through a similar situation?
One thing I noticed is that as I was on my school journey, there were certain individuals who would speak to me in a way almost like they knew I was going through something. They didn't know what, but they extended, courtesies to me.
Yes.
And that meant the world to me. And we didn't even have to have a dialogue about the troubles in my life. So, one person in particular, the custodian in my high school, a lady named Kathy, she was like, look, when you're hungry, you come through this door, I'll leave it open, and you get whatever you need out of there. It was the food that they sold at lunchtime,
Yes.
So after lunch they would pack it away, and she told me, whatever you need, it's in there. And in my mind, I was like, why is she helping me like
Yeah.
this? But thank God, because there was times I didn't eat. I didn't have, you know,
Yeah.
the money to eat. But she made that happen for me. And one of our campus security guards will provide like bus tickets for me. Like, you here, man, take these. You know, wherever you need to get, you know, here. So I never knew why they helped me, but now I know God put them in place.
Yes.
To, you know.
Right.
That was
Yes.
absolutely wonderful. And see the importance of how small, loving gestures, they may seem small to us, the impact that they will
impact.
have. Jamarlin, he's
impact.
grown. He's a grown man with his own home and
Yeah.
children and business, and he still remembers those things
Yeah.
because they impacted
Yeah.
his life. So it's very important, everybody.
Those things were the most important things in my life, believe it or
Right.
not, because they also showed me how to recognize and how to
Right.
identify
Absolutely.
those who are going through things. And you know, in writing this book, and people who are reading it, they're sharing with me that, man, you know, I had this type of problem, and
Right.
that
Right.
type of problem, and you made it possible for me to speak up now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. I just hearing you talk, hearing your voice,
good.
reading your story was amazing. But I love it makes me smile. Normally, I have to, you know, but today, Miss
Yeah.
Lynetta, it was easy to smile today with Jamarlin on
did
here
good.
because your
Right.
story
Right.
is just your story is so amazing. It's
Yeah.
life changing.
Yes.
So Lynetta,
Yes.
with these tips, I would like you to speak from the place of, because I know you're very orderly, very regimented. So what
yeah,
suggestions would you give us for, and thank you, by the way, for my math pins, my colored math pins. I'm
You're
so
welcome.
excited for statistics. Thank you.
Love it.
But in that, can you give us tips on setting small manageable goals and on creating a morning checklist? How to let the morning flow be easier to alleviate some stress?
Yeah.
Right. So I would definitely say that first off, just understand that you're not going to be perfect. So give yourself that space to make those mistakes or to have hiccups in the morning.
Yes.
So with having that, then you're able to flow better with those things. I'm huge when it comes to writing things down, having a huge schedule board in your living room, in the kitchen, wherever it can be, in the hallway, just having it out in the open, and then, you know, marking those up. And I know you talked about the math pens. I'm big on doing math step by step. Look at my nails. So each step, you need to have that different color. So
Yes.
now, blue, let's brush our teeth. Pink, let's make sure we make our bed. So having that order for them, then
Yes.
after a while, they won't even need the charts anymore. So writing it down, communicating, talking to them, just seeing what they need is it's a huge factor in this world and in our own relationships.
Good.
Absolutely.
That's
Thank you
good.
so much. And you know, as parents, sometimes it may seem daunting. I mean, I'm just gonna say it.
Right.
To do this stuff, like the step by step.
Right.
Sometimes it feels like, and I've been guilty of this, where it feels like I'll just do it because it's easier. But we're not teaching them anything.
No,
We need to
let the
take-
children help.
There it is. And
Absolutely.
Miss Lynetta's big on that. And
Yes.
we have to be, so
Yes.
that way they can learn to be self-sufficient. So
That's
they can
right.
Absolutely.
learn what they need to do and what it takes.
That's right.
So thank you so much for that.
That's
You're
good.
welcome.
Here on here, and I'm kind of going to put it together.
Yeah.
I'm going to have. There's a few here. I'm going to read them,
All
and then
right.
we're just going to speak on them because there's a few I wanted to say. Attend orientation events. So if you have a new and incoming student, the events and things that they have to familiarize you with the school,
Do it.
parents actually go. It really does make a difference. Let the school see your face.
That's right.
Let
Absolutely.
the school
You're
know
present.
that, oh, here she comes again. But not from the place of, oh, here she comes again. But just that
Yes,
we can't just do anything with her child or with her children or with his children because
Right.
he's attentive. So it's very important that we do that.
Yes.
Also about how can we be present and participate? Like what's an example of that, Lynetta?
Okay, so first off, parent meetings, that is huge. Being at the meetings when they have those parent clubs, getting involved, exchanging numbers with other parents, even with the children that's in your child's classroom. Also, you can get get your teachers' emails, your
Yes.
children's teachers' emails, please. Not so much their cell phone numbers because you don't want to be, annoying or too much with that. But definitely get their emails, communicate, talk.
Communicate.
Hey, they woke up, they woke up on the other side of the bed, so they're not having a good morning. That is huge for educators to know.
Yes.
So we just don't come in like, so you have attitude today? I'm
Right.
not dealing with this. So put the weapons down, teachers.
There
and
it is.
definitely,
Right.
find out what's going on.
Communicate.
That is
That's
a good one. Lynetta, I'm Shawana, I'm gonna have you go next because I'm gonna have Jamarlin do
Yeah.
the last one.
Sweet.
About being present, about doing our research when it comes to things that they're asking, questions maybe we don't know, about
Yeah.
reading our emails.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Can you speak to that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And just to kind of go what Netta was saying, you want to be engaged. You want to be a part. You want them to know, you said that as well, that I'm here, that I'm active.
Yeah.
So when they send some email, don't just ignore it, even if it's something just, just saying informative. Thank you. To let them know that, oh, I read this, I got it, and that I'm here for my child. I'm trying to do the best that I can. And if it's something you don't understand, please respond and let that teacher know. That way that communication is there. And
Yes.
you may be a parent that sends 50 emails, right? I mean, don't be excessive, right? But
Right.
but a teacher will be able to see, this parent is really reaching out. And they're gonna work with you. They are, because you care for your child and you're doing what you can at home, So make sure that they know that I'm here. I'm trying the best that I can do. Don't wait till the last minute now. Don't wait till the end of the semester. Now you talking about my child need a passing grade. No, where were you the whole year?
Right.
Try to get ahead of it. This is your child's success. Your child is going to go through a lot this year. You're going to go through a lot. It's going to be stressful, but we can alleviate that and make it a smoother transition if we're constantly in communication, seeing those things. And if they acting up now, you need to address that too. Don't let them kids get away with stuff, y'all. They acting
Right.
up. Let them teachers know you on board with that. Hey, let's just go ahead and get this thing together. We're going to do this as
Yes.
a team. Let that teacher know and the educator know that we're working together, that we're working in the best
Absolutely.
interest of this child.
Ooh, that was nice.
Yeah.
Very
Yes.
nice. Let's do chest like bam.
Stop.
Okay. Next. So Jamarlin, since time is coming.
Jamarlin.
Oh, it went by too fast.
It did.
It did.
I would like you to talk about prioritizing mental health as it relates
Okay.
to our children.
Come on.
And
Yeah.
how we could do that, how we could do that for ourselves, how we could do that for our children. Because I know in
good.
reading your book and, at the end, you spoke about just the freedom in writing the book and how that even just helped you in the freedom in counseling and that. So I'm going to stop there so you can speak.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, well, for me, just the whole mental aspect, the mental health aspect was brand new for me because, again, I spent my whole life learning how to cope on my own and just different strategies I was using without any professional help. So
Yeah.
as I developed my coping skills and I went to seek, professional counseling, I then learned how important it was
Yes.
to do what I was naturally doing, but
Mhm.
also how important it was to look at life and put everything into context and just realize that nothing's going to be perfect, but as long as I'm
Right.
trying my best
Right.
and
Absolutely.
understanding why things happen and how to navigate through those things, that's just exercising strong mental health,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and knowing that my feelings are always going to be valid.
Mhm.
I don't have to act on how I feel, but as long as I acknowledge if something stresses me
Absolutely.
out or frightens me or whatnot, just always acknowledging my feelings and knowing that it's okay to feel how I feel.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Acting accordingly. I know I can't do anything crazy.
Right.
So
Right.
just staying in control of what I can control.
That's right.
That's it.
Right. That's
Come
real.
I like that. Staying in
Yes.
control of what I
Mhm.
can
That's
control.
good.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
have to remember, everybody, first and foremost, God is in control.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
We have to understand that everything we do and everything we don't do matters.
Right.
We have to understand, as we think about the topic and going back to school, that our children are innocent. They truly are. And it's what we impart into them. It's what they are learning from us. It's they don't learn by what we say. They learn by what they see.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is be the good example
Yes.
for
Absolutely.
them.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
them see that you make mistakes, that you need help, that you're honest with that,
That's right.
and that you're
That's
honest
right.
with your feelings, but that you make the correct, that your actions are correct.
Love it.
Let them see that. We don't have to be perfect in front of our children, and I've been guilty of that with my older kids. They're now, they're over 30. And I played, I had my middle daughter tell me just recently how she thought that I never had anything ever wrong
Wow.
because I've displayed
Yeah.
a face of everything's fine.
Yeah.
So when she started going through problems, she didn't want to come to me because in her mind, I never have anything wrong, so she was embarrassed to come to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what a disservice it was for me not to just be open and honest with my feelings, as Jamarlin said,
Right.
and just be who but experience them, be honest with it, validate those feelings,
Absolutely.
but keep it moving correctly.
Yeah.
So we encourage everybody, whether you're the student, yay, Netta, whoop, whoop, the students here,
Yes.
the students, 'cause that's
Come on,
your
TLC.
Get it.
yeah, come the students. So whether you have students, and we all have students going back to
Yes.
school, whether you are the educator, all those levels,
Yeah.
you are a staff at school. That's Jamarlin. Like every one of us, we
Yes.
have our places to play.
Yes.
Right.
Shawana, the mental health specialist here, where she's dealing with the different stresses there are out there in the community.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
saying that to say, wherever your part is, whatever hat you're wearing, it's
Right.
important. Open your eyes, open your heart,
Yes.
and be there. Be that safe place for our kids and for one another. So Jamarlin, before we go, I want you to tell them, and just so you know, underneath your name, Michael, he's so awesome. He's put your name and he's put how to contact you and all of that. But we want to hear you tell us again where your book is. We want to hear you say again about your Resilient, the song, and we want to hear you say how we can contact you.
Okay, well, my website is www.resilientjamarlinlowe.com. And everything about the book and the soundtrack is there. A shorter way to find it is www.jlowmusic.com.
All right
And
now.
also, the book has its own Facebook page too. So on Facebook,
Okay.
Awesome.
it's,
I'm happy if I didn't even know that. See?
Resilient Jamarlin Lowe on Facebook as well.
Nice.
And the book is available on Amazon, on Barnes and Nobles, or you can message me directly, and I'll get you a signed copy.
Perfect.
All right. So now I know that.
I will
Oh yeah,
definitely
you do got to
that for
sign
you
this book.
ladies too.
Yes.
We need to meet up, and I'll sign them all. It'll be my
Thank
honor.
you.
All right.
That's absolutely perfect. So,
Yeah.
and of course, I already know this, but I want you to. If I just went to Amazon right now, what am I going to type in to find the book? Do I type in your name? Do I
Jamarlin
type
Lowe,
in?
or you can put
Oh,
in
just like that.
Resilient.
Now,
Yeah, you
look.
just type in my name, it'll pop up.
You see, everybody. I wanted to point that out to make it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, just type in Jamarlin Lowe, it'll pop up.
There it is, right there. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Honestly,
Jamarlin.
Thank
we
you.
did not have enough time. I'm just being honest. It just
I
went by
know.
so fast. But I'm thankful. We are thankful that you came back.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey,
And-
thank you for having me, and I'm always available for you guys. I don't care.
Ah,
Yes.
yay! Thank you, thank
Y'all
you,
want
thank
to
you.
do a show on Christmas? We can do it.
All right now. That
Awesome.
sounds absolutely
Yeah.
perfect. No, this is
All right.
perfect.
Yeah, you guys are special to me. I turned
Thank
40 on this show,
You did. You did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Matter, we were in Cambria at the time. I just
Hey,
remember.
Bessie.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So, thank you again
Thank you.
for sharing your story and being so transparent.
Yes.
It's truly
Yes.
your life has been changed by your story, but so many others will be as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna go ahead. Shawana, go ahead and say your closing to everyone.
Yes, just remember, stress is going to come. You got this. Surround everything in prayer, and remember to take it easy, love on those babies, and take it easy on yourselves.
Lynetta.
Yeah. I just want to commend Jamarlin again. Just being able to write this book and help so many people, and being
Yes.
a man, a young man.
That part.
You are
Yes.
going to save so many lives. I have so many questions about chapter 3, the suspect.
Oh,
It's
man.
and you know what? And I thank God for your mom and just
Yeah.
her
Yes.
strength and
Yes.
the things that she went through, and her just being resilient, and how that was just passed down to you. I love you. I'm so proud of you. I grew up with your family, so that's a plus. So
Yeah.
I cannot wait to finish this book. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing.
Awesome.
Hey, no problem. No problem.
Jamarlin, do you have any final words you'd like? Well, not final, but just closing for the moment words.
Well, I thank everybody for tuning in. Go ahead and listen to that soundtrack. It's on
Yes.
Amazon
Yes.
Music. It's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. Just type in Jamarlin Lowe Resilient, and it'll pop up, and you can hear the sounds of
There
the,
it is.
of the book.
Can't wait.
Love it.
Thank you so much, all of you. I love you all so
We
much.
love you too.
Marlon, like I said, I see this
I
picture and I
know.
literally want to pick you up. And
I
go,
know.
"Aw."
I'm holding him right now too.
Yes.
I'm rocking him.
Netta
So
has a
Yeah.
copy.
thank you so
Yes.
much. And remember, whether you're a parent,
Yes.
a teacher, a grandparent, a child, a student, you matter. Your feelings
Absolutely.
matter.
Sure do.
What you need matters. Reach out. Find your safe place
Yes.
and hold on to it. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes,
Yeah.
back to school.
Thank you.
Here we
School.
go.
I got this.
You can do it.
Yeah.
But, of course, you know I want you to say, just remember
Yes.
to just
Just
say
say
yes.
yes.
We'll see you next time.
Yes.
All right.